Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Welcome back to SpectrumMamis.
How is
We're
everyone?
here. We're here. How are you, Lisette?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Getting better. Getting better. So,
Yes,
yeah,
good.
we're doing good. We're doing good. This glare of these glasses, they're driving me crazy. But anyway,
Off the glasses,
take off the glasses.
but then,
I
I guess you should.
can't see anything. Estoy viejita. Anyway, so yeah, guys, we're back. We're back. We're back. Been a crazy month or so. We've been trying to do as much as we can, but you know,
Yeah,
life gets in the way. But
true.
we're here and we want to talk to you about a couple of things. So
Yeah.
let's get started. Let's jump in. So we made a holiday video, uh, maybe like a month ago or so. I want to say,
Mm-hmm.
was it?
I don't know. Was it really necessarily only holiday or just events? Like
Right,
things that, yeah,
right. It was more about events, not missing
right.
out, the
Including the
struggle
holidays,
of going,
going
right?
places, and yeah,
Right.
exactly.
But today we're going to do one about holidays, especially,
Mm-hmm.
geared to Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
because Christmas is coming. And we wanted to talk about certain things that we've experienced or that we've heard
Mm-hmm.
of,
Right.
about our kiddos and presents and doing stuff like that. So that's
Yeah.
basically why, so it's really not the same. It's not the same. So,
Yeah, no. This video is going to be a little different, even though we may touch a little bit on that other video, but it's totally different.
right.
It's more about like our experiences with the holidays and stuff like that, not necessarily about going places. So this will be a little different.
Yeah, yeah. So before we jump into that,
Hmm.
anything about our kiddos? Anything about Chloe and Justin?
So, okay, so Justin knocked on the Christmas tree this week.
Oh my God,
Um,
yes. I saw the picture.
yeah, to be honest, like he hadn't done it in a long time, and for a little while we couldn't even really have a Christmas tree. So it was, he was having a moment, and during that struggle the tree, actually fell. He didn't really knock it down, it was during a struggle. So now my tree is missing half the lights because apparently a bulb must have fallen. When you take off a bulb, it really takes like the whole
Right.
line. So now
Mhm.
we need to figure out which one is the one that fell so we could put it back. So I'm really, to be honest, I'm even debating if I'm gonna go through that hassle or just leave it as is. I took a picture of it before it even happened, so it's not like I don't have memory or or a picture of the tree. I don't know if I really want to take the time and frustrate myself in trying to get that fixed.
Right.
But yeah, my tree is missing. So half the lights aren't on, and the tree is like lopsided. Like that. Do you remember the V8 commercial? Like somebody didn't have their V8 today, and the guy's like
Ah,
walking
sí,
sideways.
sí, sí,
Well, my
sí.
tree is like sideways. I need to do
Medio
something.
chueco, sí.
Yeah, yeah. I need to do something there to like somewhat bend it and correct it a little bit. Um, and the bowl that was on top is like not on top anymore. So yeah, half the ornaments fell off the tree. So I picked them up and I stuck them in a bag with the idea of going back and putting them back on. I haven't done any of that yet. I'm really debating. I might not even do any of that.
And I tell
Because
you something that you send
I'm
me
almost
the
there.
the picture. You
Hmm.
send me the picture, right?
Yeah.
And the first thing, usually when somebody sends you a picture and you want to see details, you kind of zoom in.
Yeah.
And I zoomed in and I saw shoes.
Oh
I
yeah.
saw,
Inside.
no, I saw the shoes, uno por el lado y uno kind of like under it.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
thinking,
Right.
but you sent me
I
the
didn't even
picture
notice
and you
that.
didn't say anything. And right
Well,
after,
you
you
did.
told me later
Yeah, but you actually replied with what happened.
exactly
You're
because
like, are the shoes related to the problem?
exactly. I'm like, quién se cayó, quién se enredó,
Yeah.
whose shoes are those? I'm
Yeah.
like,
I don't know.
¿qué es
And
esto?
you're telling me this. And I think that for us, like having shoes out of place in my house is so normal to me. It's kind of like, when you have a really bad potty mouth and you say a bad word and somebody goes, "Hey, watch your mouth." I go, "What did I say?" You didn't even realize that you said it.
Right.
It's happened to me. But I didn't even realize that there was shoes there. Now I'm thinking, oh my God, I gotta go back and look at that picture. I don't even remember. We can't leave. This is something funny too that Justin does. We can't leave shoes where he could get them because for whatever reason he throws everything behind the couch.
Really?
So yeah, and whatever he's playing with, like usually by
That's,
the end of the night,
that's his way of recoger.
I guess he throws it behind the couch. Or
It's
I
like,
don't know why
esto,
he
esto,
does that.
esto, boom,
I
boom,
figure
boom.
out. I don't even think he's picking up. I think it's just like a hoarding type of situation. So
Mm,
and then like his dad will be sitting on the recliner with the recliner up, with his feet up, but he'll take off his
mhm.
shoes because he's just come home from work or whatever. Justin will swing right by and disappear his shoes. Like he'll grab his shoes and he'll either throw them behind the couch or he'll throw them under the recliner. So when he's gonna try to get back down, he's like, "Where are my shoes?" And they're usually either under the recliner or they're behind the couch. I can't
Yeah,
leave shoes. I can't leave shoes laying around where he could get them because that's gonna most of the time happen.
oh,
But yeah,
that's funny.
another funny quirk, I guess.
Oh my
Um,
God. And what about Chloe? Anything about Chloe?
Chloe's good. Chloe is a character. Uh, Chloe is, I believe, she doesn't admit it because she won't admit it. But I believe she's becoming, what do they call them? A Swifty? Is that the right word? Like
Taylor
the
Swift?
people, yeah, like the Taylor Swift fans.
Right.
I, for one, I mean, she's okay, I guess. I'm not a fan. I I like two of her songs, but not enough. I mean, I would never pay to go see her. I don't understand. I don't know if you've heard about this. This is a whole other issue.
Listen, no, no, espérate. I I like her music. It's okay. It's not something that
Right.
but it's not that I wouldn't pay. It's that I cannot pay to
Yeah.
go see her. No me
But
venga
I
a
don't
decir porque
get like,
los tickets son like outrageously expensive. So
but I'm sorry. And this might sound a little cruel, but I don't get the hype. Like, I don't understand. Like, because it's not just that you can't afford it, but why are they so expensive? So, like, listen, I've seen Mark Anthony several times. That's money
mhm.
well spent. And that was fun. But I don't get the Taylor Swift thing. I really don't. I guess she's okay. If I'm flipping stations and two of her songs come out. So there's two songs that if I hear it, I'll sing along and I'll, in the car and I'll
Right.
have it on. But I won't actually go into my Apple Music and look for this particular song to listen to it by myself. Um, I just really don't get the hype. I would, and then I don't know if you've heard, but people have gotten so crazy that I talked to my brother about this not long ago. People are like getting home equity line of credits on their house and doing crazy like money, like getting money quick to go see Taylor Swift.
No joda.
I'm like,
No es para tanto.
I really don't get it. I mean, I guess, I mean,
No, I don't think so. I
I
don't know.
think she's turning into a Swifty. And the reason I say that is because we're at the store and then like two or three times, like we saw different, I don't even know what we're looking at. Oh, we were at the pharmacy and there was like masks or like different, beauty products. And she goes, she looks like Taylor Swift. She didn't really look that much like Taylor Swift, but the girl on the cover of like the hair dye or whatever. I think
Right,
it was.
right.
So there was different things, and she goes, "Oh yeah, she kind of looks like Taylor Swift," and I didn't think anything of it. And I've noticed that she's been playing some of her songs. That wasn't even so much a big deal either. But then I actually, and I'm gonna send it to you later. I actually recorded her a video, recorded a little clip of her in the car singing along to a Taylor Swift song. Um, so yeah, I think. And I asked her, Chloe, are you a Taylor Swift fan? She goes, no, like she won't really say the shit. If she is, she is. That's fine.
She won't acknowledge it?
She'll be like, I go, Chloe, you like Taylor Swift? She goes, yeah, I mean, she's okay. Yeah. I don't. I just think it's funny. I think it's funny, and I guess
Oh God.
maybe she's got the right idea, because people seem to be going bonkers. I just
Yeah,
don't know.
I think it's a little bit too much. Um, but hey, if you like it that much, but
To each his own.
um, to each his own. But um, I feel like those tickets are getting a little bit too way
Mhm.
up there, and it's like, and the funny thing is that she fills up arenas,
Yeah, I don't, I don't, I really,
and but the regular people like me, I
yeah.
can't afford that shit.
No, we can't. And the thing is too, like with her specifically, even if I could afford it, I don't wouldn't pay that kind of money. I wouldn't pay that kind of money to, if I'm being honest, I wouldn't pay that
For
kind of money
anyone.
for anyone.
Yeah.
But again, like what I've paid to see in the past, like Bon Jovi. Well, Bon Jovi we didn't pay for that one, but like a few other shows that I've seen in the past,
Hmm.
we've gone to see twice Jim Gaffigan. He's a comedian, and we
Hmm.
really relate to him a lot, and we love his jokes, and we've seen him twice. It's actually really inexpensive, but still, that I would pay for because I enjoyed it. Um, and also we've uh, which other Mark Anthony we saw in the early 2000s. We saw him at Madison. I want to say it was 2002. We saw him at Madison Square Garden in New York. We lived there at the time.
Hmm.
Well, we lived in New Jersey. We took a train, or we took a bus from where we lived,
Hmm.
and that was a lot of fun. And I would totally pay again. And I remember the tickets being not being cheap, but you know. And then here we've
Sí,
seen, and
pero
maybe two
now
or three
they're
times.
way too
I just
crazy.
don't like, things are crazy. They're just
Yo he
insane.
visto announces for concerts, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that would be cool. So when I go in there and I see the tickets, I'm like, no, not that
No.
cool.
And I think too, you could like an artist. Like, well, first of all, now it's just crazy. Now I don't think I would pay that to see anyone. But I think that there's artists too that I think it also depends on like how much you really are willing to spend on
Right.
now I wouldn't spend that on anybody. But back when they were like normal priced, it really depends on the person too. So I would pay a certain amount of money to see Mark Anthony. I would pay a certain amount of money. Though politically I am not uh a fan of, we have very different views. I love Demi Lovato's music. Um I would have paid to go see her in concert when concerts cost like normal price because I love her music. Um Not much of anything else regarding her, but I love her music and she's very, very talented. Um and there's just like a few other artists that I would probably pay to go see, but that's it. Taylor Swift is, honey, my daughter, keep listening to her on Apple Music. It's not gonna.
Ahorita te va a pedir tickets. Ahorita
No,
te va a pedir tickets to go see her.
no.
So mira a ver.
Have I told you that she told me, so she stopped believing in Santa Claus already? So to be honest, she might have known
Yeah.
longer. She was just playing me. I really don't know.
Maybe.
But not long ago she told me, if you want, I can give you. Oh, I told her, well, I'm thinking maybe it's less stressful because maybe now she's more conscious and realizes that we're buying these presents. Maybe I
Hmm.
shouldn't ask for a list that's thousands of dollars, right?
Wrong.
She still gave me a list and she goes, whatever you can get, I know that it's you and not Santa, whatever, but here's my list. And I'm like, and I don't think it was as bad as other times, but then she's like, if you want, you can either give me your card, again with the card. I said, I'm not giving you my card. She goes, or I could just put them on the Amazon cart, and then that way it's easier for you to. I said, no, give me your list, and I'll buy you a few things from your list, and I'll buy a few things that I want to buy you that are not on your list, and I might not buy everything that's on the list, but it's going to be a mixture of both things, and that way, I don't want, just because you don't believe in Santa Claus anymore, I don't want you to not believe in the magic of Christmas. I still want you to be happy and want to
And
open
be
your presents and
surprised.
be
Yeah.
surprised and be surprised. But yeah,
Yeah. Well, Angel, Mr. Angel was his thing.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, we were in the car. Both of these stories are in the car on the way to school, right?
Yeah.
First, um, he's been more into music and putting loud music in the car after, on the way to school, and he kind of like does this, you know, kind of like this, y empieza a hacer su baile, y yo me
Very
pongo,
appropriate for a teenager.
yeah, y entonces a veces yo me pongo, a también bailar y qué sé yo. Bueno, estamos switching stations, right, in the
Station.
car, and Alicia Keys comes on, right,
Mm.
with the song "Falling."
Okay.
That I keep on falling.
Yeah. That might have been her first song,
Bueno, no voy
actually.
a seguir cantando para que no siga lloviendo.
Sí, o sea.
Anyway,
Well,
sí,
no,
sí.
the weather's gonna be shitty all weekend. Supposedly, it's not gonna get better till Monday. Pero bueno.
Bueno, pero bueno.
Anyway.
So mm, he goes, "Oh, leave it there." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." He goes, "That's Alicia Keys." And I go, "Oh, yeah, that's Alicia Keys. You like that song?" Y entonces dice, "Yeah." Y empieza a hacer así. Y tú lo ves, like with the beat, right? Tú sabes que esa canción es bien, tú
Yeah,
sabes,
yeah.
you know.
I love it.
So he's going like this, and he goes, "What music do you like, Mom?" And I said, "Well,
I
no."
love that he's engaging in that type of conversation.
Yeah. And then he says, he didn't say, "What music do you like? What song? What's your favorite song?" He said. And I'm
And
going,
he was
"Oh, Angel."
genuinely like, I see that a lot of kids, even the very vocal ones, the ones that are, super duper verbal, um, they don't seem to really care too much. At least a lot of the kids that I've spoken to, or
Right.
parents, they don't care too much about your interest. They just want to tell you about dinosaurs all day long, or they want to tell you about,
Exacto.
whatever it is that they're
Exacto.
interested. But I don't. The fact that he's like interacting, like wanting to know, he's interested.
Right.
I love that.
So then I'm like, "Ay, Angel, there's so many songs that I like. I like all
Right.
kinds of music." So I'm telling him, I like rock, I like pop, I like, there's so many different things. So
Right.
he says, "Oh, I like this song. It's romantic." And I'm like, "¿Cómo?" Y me quedé así, and then he goes, "Yeah, like for a date."
Oh.
Me quedé. I was like, "Holy camole." So yeah, we're
Oh
at that
wow.
stage. I don't know. Feel like he is understanding a little bit more, but he's still not there of
Right.
the
Right.
whole concept of like
Right. Of
the
even dating. Yeah.
romance and
Right.
that whole thing. So, pero me dijo eso y yo me quedé, "What?" Mm-mm.
Wow.
And then the other one is also in the car listening to music, and the song, um it's an old song, very old song. She drives me crazy and
Uh huh.
I can't help it.
Fine young cannibals.
Yeah. So it's on, and he's like, he's going, he's kind of moving, right? And I'm like, "Yeah, that song is cool, huh?" He goes, "What's that song?" And I said, "Well, that song is old.
Mm-hmm.
It's, fairly old." And he goes, "Oh, I like it." And I said, "Oh, okay." And I just me dio por preguntarle, "And who drives you crazy, Angel?" And then he's like, "You, Mom."
Oh my
I
god.
went, "Me?" And he goes, "Yes, because you say, Angel do this, and Angel do that, and Angel do this, and Angel do that." I'm like, "Mira que sinvergüenza."
I'm
In
sorry.
his own little way, he's telling me, like a teenager, that I'm annoying.
Oh my god.
So, yeah,
That's so appropriate.
that's like, I mean, you know, they go through their stages a lot
Mm-hmm.
slower than others.
Right.
Um, but I guess he's getting there. I don't know.
That's awesome.
So, and
That's
then
awesome.
when I was sick, uh Sergio took him
To
to
school.
school,
Hmm.
and pretty much the whole week, right?
Right.
And he loved it. He was like, my brother's taking me to school, and my brother goes to college, y que no sé qué, y no sé cuánto. So, ya cuando, I was feeling better and I was gonna drive him, he's like, but mom, where's Sergio? And I'm like, he's sleeping. But isn't he gonna take me to school? I go, no, the one that takes you to school is
Oh my
me.
God. Yeah, I mean, it's always been you. It was just that week and those
Yeah,
days that you were out, that you weren't
yeah.
feeling. Oh my God.
So,
But that's so
imagínate.
typical of him wanting to go with his older brother to school. That's
Instead of me, instead of mom,
right. Yeah. Yeah. What an embarrassment.
Yeah. I don't think he
Yeah.
feels
No, I
that,
don't think he's there. I don't think he's there.
like he's not in that stage yet of the embarrassment,
Yeah.
but he is in the stage of, I'm cool with my brother.
Right. Right.
It's cooler with my brother, kind of.
Man, I remember the silliest things from when I was a kid around that time that I thought were super embarrassing. Like one was my mom driving me to school with rolos on. Like that was like I wanted to duck. Like that was really
Bata y
difficult.
chancleta.
The chancletas weren't because I mean, if she didn't get out the car, it was fine.
Right.
But she would drive with the rolos on, and then she had like a pañuelo on top, and
She's
that
one
was
of those moms.
oh my god, that was so embarrassing. And then another thing that would drive me crazy is my stepdad, who I've called Poppy, and he actually passed away last year in June. One of the things that he used to take me to school, and I hated for him to take me to school and in his working van, which is the stupidest thing ever because now I look at it and first of all, now I think it's really stupid. But then don't you want people to know your dad is not a deadbeat? Like I don't get it. I mean, he has a working van because he works. And yes, his
Oh
van looks like
my
shit, but it's for
God.
work. We do have another car at
Right.
home. Like it's stupid. And then another thing too is like he used to take me to school and get down when I was even younger, like in elementary school. Like you know how
Right.
you would walk back now, it's like everything is you can't even go into schools. But back
You know.
then you would be able to walk your kid to class.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember he would walk me to class and I hated when it was cold outside because he would wear a jacket. It's like un abrigo de cuadro. And I thought it was so tacky.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like the
It was like I don't want to say it was flannel because it really wasn't flannel. Era un abrigo. It wasn't a flannel shirt. It was a coat, but it was de cuadro. So we're talking about early 80s.
hmm.
And I thought that that was also super embarrassing. So when I knew that it was cold, I was like, great, he's gonna wear el abrigo de cuadro, and I just couldn't deal. And it was just like so silly now thinking of it. So like honestly, I
Ay,
really
Dios
think that
mío.
those abrigos even came back. Like I think that they're really cool now. Like and I don't know. I think and then you lose your
Yeah.
parents or your parents are sick or whatever, and you're like, oh my god, what I would give to like have my childhood again, or
Yeah.
to take me to school con el abrigo cuadro. I don't care, like
Yeah,
the
exactly.
silliness, but yeah, it's very typical for a kiddo to want to go to school with the in crowd. It's
Mm-hmm.
that's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, he's there. He's getting there. Little by little, but he's getting there.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, now that we talked a little bit about everything, we're gonna talk about the holidays and
Yeah.
specifically about things that happen like specifically for Christmas, right?
Right.
Um, I wanted to kind of bring up one thing that it used to happen. It doesn't happen anymore.
Hmm.
But Angel, when he was small, I want to say 3, 4, 5, around that age. Um, First they opened the presents. He would open the presents like boom, 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 like a lo loco.
Yeah.
Y
Yeah.
entonces, si era un juguete que estaba en caja, he would open it and he would just throw it on me, como quien dice,
Ábreme aquí. Yeah.
ábreme aquí, ábreme esta mierda,
Yeah.
porque yo no.
Hmm.
So But one thing he wouldn't do, and he even did that with chips. He wouldn't stick his hand inside. It was almost like ra ra, y como no podía coger, he would, you know, throw it in,
He would dump
on
it
the
over
floor,
because,
dump it
huh,
over. Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
because it was one of those things that he wouldn't stick his hand, even with potato chips or things like that. If we had it like how when you're at home and open a bag and you're just eating out of the bag, we would have to put it in a bowl or kind of like have the chips like
I
cerquita
have
de
to
la.
wonder if that is because of the unknown, because you're sticking your hand in something,
I
or
feel like
is
it
it
was.
sensory? Because I know I mentioned that before, that I thought it would be because of the unknown. But the thing of the chips, I have to say, I love chips and I hate sticking my hand inside the bag because it's like greasy and like I don't even know how to explain it. And I know that, I mean, I don't know. I don't have a diagnosis of autism. I don't think I have sensory like a sensory processing disorder.
Well, Angel at that time, I mean, he
Right.
still has sensory issues, but
Yeah.
at that time they were really hyphen, like it
Right.
was
So
like.
I know that, like, for me, I don't like certain things on me. I have an Apple Watch. I hardly ever wear it. I don't wear jewelry other than my earrings, and they have to be very small and comfy. Like, I do have those sensory issues, but then some people have those issues and then they don't want to get a massage, or I don't mind touch. I love massages. I need massages. I do
Hmm,
want to go to the chiropractor. I need it. Um,
yes.
but I don't like jewelry on me. I don't like watches. The mask for me during COVID was extremely difficult. I It was very, very difficult for me. I couldn't breathe. I have glasses and I need them, but I don't wear them because I don't have it's really difficult for me to have things on my face. Um, but yeah, but I also remember that I have that problem with the chips. I don't like it. Feels weird to me to stick my hand inside the chip and then all the sour cream and onion goes all up. Like it's but I'm not like that with, like, I can season. You know that there's people that can't season the chicken. They have
Yeah,
a hard time seeing the raw chicken.
like
That doesn't
tocarla
bother me.
así.
None of that bothers me. But so now I'm wondering if it's the unknown or if it was sensory.
I think it's
Or
both.
both. Or both.
I think it's both.
Yeah, I think as long as you find what works, like this particular other podcast, she was saying how that worked for them, of putting the stuff in the bags. It really is just about that, right? About what works for your particular child. I know that for many years Justin didn't I don't think he understood Christmas, the concept. He didn't know how to open presents. You had to kind of do it for him,
Right.
and try to get him hyped up about it. Um, Now he more like, so I don't know if we said this like in another episode, if we talked about this, but like if you tell him, Justin, who's coming to town? He goes, Santa Claus. So I don't know if he understands that that has to do with but he must be putting it together because I tell him, and what does Santa bring? He goes, toys.
Ah, okay. So he
Um,
does put it together.
yeah, he says toys. Who's coming to town? Santa Claus. So it's just really cute. And now he's more like opening the presents with a little more ease. The issue is, and the one thing that he does is that when he opens a present, then that's it. Now he wants that. He wants you to unravel the plastics and all that stuff that we just talked about. And then he just wants to take off with that present. But wait a minute, you have like a whole bunch of other stuff to
Yeah.
open
Yeah.
that you didn't even open. Rather than putting it aside, like, with Chloe, it's easy. Chloe goes and she opens the present and she gets excited over it and then she puts it aside and goes to the next one.
Right.
But yeah, that's not with him. He's like a Woody dog. He gets excited and he just takes off. Um,
I
but
know of
yeah,
people that actually like, let's say, whatever, however members of the family they get together and they start opening presents. They make
mhm,
sure that they open presents for their kid first.
right. That makes sense
Kind of
too.
because in my house we kind of like sit around the tree and then
That's
start
how we
giving
do
each
it. Yeah.
other, whatever, y que no sé qué,
Hmm.
uno por
Right.
uno, blah, 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 right? But in that
We
case,
just kind of like go around, go open one, or
right,
yeah.
right. But in that case, um, they do all of his because his attention span, he's not gonna sit still to wait until everybody, opens their presents. So they
Hmm.
kind of give the child their all of the gifts, two, three, whatever,
Right.
however many gifts, and then let him be, and then everybody else starts doing their
Right.
stuff. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like it's just basically same thing as always as we've talked about, even with the outings and everything else, is
Yeah.
whatever works for you
Whatever
and
works for
your
you. Yeah.
child,
Yeah.
you
And
know?
also like, and I think we talked about this a little bit at one point where, or you and I really, how at least for Justin, buying stuff for Justin is extremely complicated because yes, he's 18, but he doesn't know how to play with many things. He doesn't care for an iPad. He doesn't care for a gaming system. He doesn't care for any of that stuff. So we, it's almost like bittersweet, right? Because every year he gets older and bigger, and his beard gets thicker, and his voice gets thicker, and
Right.
his voice gets stronger
Hmm.
and deeper. But every year after year after year, we find ourselves buying the Fisher Price little people that are little. Like it doesn't matter what else. Like those little things, that's what he likes. Um, I could give Justin a box of Post-it notes, and he'll like that. Like little, just anything that he could like carry around, or that he could, stick behind the couch. He loves pacifiers, whether
Right.
there's to throw them around or to have them in his mouth. Just little fidgets, really not even fidgets because now they sell all kinds of fidgets, but he doesn't care too much for a lot of the stuff. So I usually will
Right.
get like little, stress balls, and they're essentially baby toys or toddler toys. Yesterday,
Mhm.
he he came across, I had a big box in the corner of the living room that had stuff that needed to eventually be wrapped. Um, and he found that there was stuff, colorful stuff in there, and he got into the box. I was like, oh no. And he pulled out a toy that's for like a 1 year old.
Mhm.
And he just took it to, it's not for him, first of all. He took it to the
Mhm.
counter and he sat and he started, it's, those little things that have like, you press the button and the little animal pops up.
Yes, 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 yes.
And he's going, and he's going, and he's laughing, and he goes, I go, what is it? He goes, monkey. And
Pobrecito.
that's what he needs to make him happy. And so people tell
You're
me
gonna have
all
to
the
get him
time,
one of those, girl.
I'm gonna have to get him one of those. I said, people say to me, like, what do I get for Justin? What do I get for Justin? It's always the same thing. Same things, little things that you
Right.
got him last year. And then another challenge is, and we've talked about this, Justin doesn't, because of all the problems we've had in the past, and because it could get crazy really quickly.
Mhm.
He doesn't have closet doors right now. He doesn't have a closet per se in his room. His bed is the only thing in his room, and he used to have a
TV.
sofa. Yeah, and his TV. He used to have a sofa that I bought like a little futon so that his therapist can sit in there with him and stuff. And it just broke. So I'm getting the process of getting it fixed so that I can put it back in there. So right now there's no stuff in his room other than his box and his TV, which is in a box. It's like on a, with behind a
Plexiglass.
plexi. Yeah. So even when he does open all these presents, where do I put them? Like I want to give him a Christmas. I want him to, you know, open all these presents, but if I'm being honest, I don't have anywhere to put them, and I'm gonna have to like. So right now, I have like a big like chest. I guess it's like a trunk or a toy box that I keep
Mhm.
in my room, and I let him in my room. He earns it and he asks for it, and he comes into my room and he's so cute. He'll grab when he goes
Hmm.
toy. I want toy, and I bring him, and he grabs it. He wants to take the thing is up to the top, but he wants to try to take as much as he possibly can. So
Huh.
he goes, and he puts them, and then they're falling, and he's grabbing one, and they're and he's walking like this, and they're all falling. And so usually what I'll do is I'll grab a bag And so he
Yeah.
does like for shopping. I'll grab a
Mhm.
bag and I'll be like, okay, pick what you want. And I hold the bag open. But I usually have to put a limit. Okay, that's it. That's it for now. And then later on, we could do it again, put those back.
Right.
Um, and then he just takes them to his room. He'll throw them around, because that's how he plays
See.
for the rest. And then at night, when it's time to put it away, because if anything stays in his room that doesn't belong, any little toy, anything, he won't sleep. He'll just, that's enough to keep him entertained. So I'll go in there with a bag and I'll have him help me be involved in the cleaning up. I'll open the bag and
Mm-hmm.
he'll go around the room and pick it up. And then we toss that bag, empty the bag into the toy box. So yeah, that's another thing is like people are often like, what do I get for Justin? And they want to get him something that's for a teenager or for,
Yeah.
but he's not going to play with that. He doesn't even know what that
No.
is. Like, he's not gonna,
Yeah.
so, so yeah, like, I don't know about the bag thing. If we're going to do that, I don't know if he knows. Now that I think about it, I don't remember I think he does stick his hand in the bag, but
Right.
now he's more into Christmas. Last year, he was in and out of the hospital during this time, so we didn't really have much of a Christmas. The year before, he really seemed more interested in opening presents. So I think this year is going to be a lot better and he's going to understand it. I mean, he's 18 now. I think he's going to
Right.
understand. But still, I do still see a problem where he's going to open something he likes and then he wants you to open it right then and there. Like when I say
Right.
open,
Right.
is open, like take off
Yes.
all those little wires and stuff that they put in the toys that are holding it essentially to the box. He's going to want all that removed and then he'll just take off to his room with it.
Yeah.
So,
At one point, Angel would see presents under the tree, and it was like, I'm gonna get my hands on all of them. And it was like,
oh,
wait,
we
wait, wait,
can't
hold
keep
on, hold
presents
on.
under the.
And
Yeah.
I couldn't have him sit next to the tree. I would have
No.
to put him in the couch, pero más
Yes.
lejos. And somebody would sit with him and
Right.
help him, like, okay, wait. Okay, this one is for you.
I know that many families will start shopping and they'll start putting Christmas presents under the tree. And I remember it kind of being like that in my house too when I was growing up. And also, I've gone to like, my husband's family's house, and sometimes they'll have a bunch of presents under the tree. I never did that with my kids just because I don't know how much Justin understands or how much he doesn't. But with Chloe, for instance, if I was going to tell her if she was going to believe in Santa Claus, then why are they a bunch of presents under the tree before Christmas? So I actually do the shopping and I hide everything. And then we have to wrap the presents and then put them under the tree.
Right.
So, and now that Chloe doesn't believe in Santa Claus anymore, and I don't think Justin, he does, but I don't think he understands that it's on a specific night. But if he
Mm.
sees the present in there, he's going to unwrap it.
Right.
Which I guess,
Right.
that's great, right? He didn't unwrap presents before, but he just won't understand that it's not until this day that we can actually unwrap it.
Right.
Some kids, you can use a calendar, like an advent calendar, or you can use a like a schedule, or I'm trying to like maybe like a social story or a schedule where you can show him when it gets to this day, every day you go and you take off days off the calendar. This
Mm-hmm.
is the day that we open the presents. I just don't know that he's there. I really don't think that he's there. So I'm avoiding that. My room looks like Santa's workshop right now. My room is a hot mess. All the presents are here. They're kind of covered. Whatever's for kids are covered so that even though
Right.
Chloe doesn't really believe in Santa Claus anymore, I also don't want her to lose the surprise, that surprise feeling and the
Yeah.
magic of Christmas. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so I prefer for her not to see them until Christmas Day. But
Well, with Sergio, and even still with Angel, because
mhm.
Angel kind of still believes.
Yeah.
But cuando, because I used to tell them, okay, so they're presents that people buy for you
Oh yeah.
because
Yeah.
we give each
I do the
other
same thing. Yeah.
presents, right? But their presents, the other presents, are the ones that
Right.
Santa brings, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So those I would never, I would have to hide them. I would have to, and I
Right.
still do.
Right.
So the thing is that let's say, um, we're gonna give so and so a present, and we went to buy it and all that stuff. That one I would wrap it and I would put it under the tree. Um, so we know that that's for that person.
Right.
But then Christmas Eve, yo saco todos los presents that Santa brought, y
Yeah.
entonces ya is different because, you know, todos esos presents
Yeah.
están
I used
abajo.
to tell Chloe that too. And actually, another thing that I would, because the thing is, how do you explain people shopping and movies, Christmas movies where people are
Exactly.
shopping in, and you going out
Exactly.
and shopping? So, what I would say to Chloe is that Christmas, Santa only brings things for the kids. That's what I would tell Chloe. That
También.
Santa only brings things for the kids, and Santa might bring a little something for each kid that is in our family or in our circle of friends and family. They'll bring a
Mm-hmm.
little something to our house, and they'll bring things to their
To
house
their
that are for
house.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then, but the adults, well, why do you have to go shopping? Doesn't Santa? And I told her 1 year, no, because Santa's only for the kid. Oh, she got that. And I said, Santa's only for the kids. It's for the adults. I go shopping for the adults. She was like,
Right.
oh, okay. And she was okay with that. Um, but yeah,
But not
it's,
until, you know, maybe I want to say maybe like 5 years ago is that I started doing that, like putting other presents on the tree beforehand.
yeah,
Because before I wouldn't be able to do it. There was no way.
no,
Because you
yeah.
would see a gift y, no, pero este es para ripiar.
Yeah. And I listen, I remember years when we couldn't have a tree. Like, so, I mean, it's,
There was
it's
a
a process.
time that I
It's a
used to have
process.
a little tree,
Yeah.
not even 3 foot, y yo lo
Right.
ponía arriba de una mesa,
Yeah.
como medio esquinado. You know, still to this day, I don't buy any glass, you know, those glass,
No, we don't buy glass ornaments. They look like they're glass, but they're
no,
not.
yeah,
Yeah.
no
Um,
way.
yeah, no, we definitely cannot do that. And another thing too is, um, so I remember when, so this is our second Christmas at this house since we bought the house. We bought the house in December of 2021, but it was, we closed on December 31st. So that year we didn't put up a tree
Right.
because we were in the middle of moving. Well, we closed on December 31st. We weren't going to be able to put a tree. So what I did was that I got one of those little trees and I put it on top of Chloe's like dresser in her room.
Mm-hmm.
And we just laid out the presents. We tried also to be very conservative with presents because this was stuff that we were going to have to in a week move to the other house.
Right.
And so our first like real Christmas was in the house was last year, which wasn't even a real Christmas because yes, we put up a tree, but it didn't feel like Christmas. Justin was in and out of the hospital. It was, you know, a whole other issue. So I think this year he's going to enjoy it so much more. And then the year before buying the house, we didn't put up a tree because he couldn't have one. Like, you know, we did for years, then we had to stop, and then it's just been like on and off like that. But I have to make a point to put something because I have another kid, not just this one. So what I
Exactly.
did is
Yeah.
that I put it in her room. And you know, we made we wrote a letter to Santa saying that the Christmas tree is in Chloe's room, but feel free to leave the presents here. Like, you know, we left
Right.
his cookies on the
Right.
counter and
You have
so
to get
yeah,
creative. You
you have to
know,
get creative. Yeah.
basically what we're saying is that you have to get creative.
Mhm.
You have to figure out what your child can do, cannot do,
Right.
will do. Because, you know, if you have a
Mhm.
child that is going to, you know, knock off, you know, trees and open
Yeah.
presents without, you know,
Yeah.
tú sabes, you know, tiene que figure it out somehow, some way, somehow. Other families don't have to worry about this. And that's the thing.
Right.
So you have to accommodate to your lifestyle and to whatever works for your child and for your family.
Right. Yeah.
Um, so Christmas looks different for many people.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it's something that's what we have to do. and that's what
Yeah.
we have to go through. So
I know a lot of parents, sometimes including myself, that absolutely hate the holiday season. And it sucks because you want to like it because that's what you're supposed to do.
right,
And especially in my case where I have another child, I want to like the holiday season. But let's be real, here it sucks. Here it sucks most of the time. And we can't do the same stuff other people do. It doesn't matter
right,
how badly we want to do them. And I hear this a lot from a lot of families like mine, that this is the worst possible time for them.
yeah, and that's where everybody, not everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, but I kind of say everybody because I feel like in one point or another in the whole journey, in the
Mm,
what, 17, 18 years old, we have a, that we've been
right.
going through this, and somebody that's been only through the journey for 5 years. But at some point,
Mm-hmm.
you isolate yourself, especially
Right.
around this time.
Yeah.
And I feel like now I see it with different eyes. And I feel like this is a time that you shouldn't isolate yourself, because you want to have experiences and you want to have memories and you want to have all these things. And yes, sometimes it's difficult,
I'm good. I want to isolate.
you know.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll isolate. Thank you. I'm like, no,
Pero,
thank you. I can isolate. But
sí,
yeah, I
pero,
mean, I
tú
don't
sabes.
fully because, again, the other child, my second board,
Yeah, but just think about this, Lisette.
it's not her
How
fault,
about if you didn't have Chloe?
right? Then I would probably isolate completely. Right. So that's what I'm saying. I do it mostly because of her. Is that I even try to do other things. Because if it were up to me, I would just go in a cocoon and wait for the holidays to be over. And like I think we talked about this before, like most people, like most families somewhat get it. Others do not. And so I don't want to have to constantly explain it. But also, um, more often than not, even people that should get it don't get it. Like even people, believe it or not, sometimes I've
Yes.
actually like had people who have kids on the spectrum and they still don't get the magnitude of the way that things are. Like if I just feel like you only know what you know. If you're not going through something specific, like if you're not going through the same thing, you can't. There's really nothing. No, it's he's screaming there. I mean, he's happy. There's nothing. He's not unhappy. But yeah, it. I think you only know what you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And
And
sometimes when other parents, other families have a child with autism and they're super high functioning, they're okay to do certain things. And when you kind of like, maybe not, or maybe not that way, they're like, oh, but why aren't you trying this, or why aren't you trying that? Yeah,
yeah.
I get what you're saying, because this
Mm-hmm.
happened to me. It's happened, and it's happened to you. It's happened to me. Um, there were certain times that I would say, no, let's not do this, or let's not try that. And and they looked at me like I had five heads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
I know that I've been told before, specifically actually my mom told me years ago, no, because el hijo de so and so, él le diagnosticaron con autismo, pero él maneja y todo. Ok. Mira, Justin, tantos años en terapia. Ok. Él maneja y todo y tiene novia. And now actually the person that she's talking about got married recently. And I'm like, and that's a whole other topic for another day. But without disrespect to that family that she was never diagnosed with severe autism. He just wasn't. A sky didn't fall. The star didn't fall from the sky and be like, oh, now he's able to drive and he's able to hold a job and get married and have a girlfriend. No,
yeah,
he might have had a diagnosis of autism, sure, but this is not what we're talking about. Like it's
no,
And every situation is
It's
different.
much different. I mean, I get that. We get all kinds of comments like that, and even if
Yeah.
it's from family, and sometimes even when they come from family, it's
Hmm.
almost like a stab in the heart. Like, I, if you could only know. But
Right.
it happens. It happens. So yeah, guys, we've been working on stuff for you guys, and
Yes.
on the first podcast of the year, we're working for something good for you guys. We want to do a guardianship, and we're working with a lawyer to
Hmm.
collaborate and make a full on episode,
Almost like a
asking
Q and
all
A.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
asking all the questions possible. And in this case, I think we should take a moment to ask the audience anything.
Yeah.
You
Is
guys
there
tell
any
us.
questions? Because, yeah, that's a good point. Because we asked, or we already kind of came up with a list of questions that we're going to ask,
Yeah,
um, that we're going to ask them or him. But we think that maybe there's, because we kind of have an idea of what people want to know and what
yeah,
we would deem as important. But there might be other questions that other people have that we could address.
yeah,
So if there is any question, feel free to message us and let us
yeah,
know so that we can actually make sure that those questions are asked and we can
yeah.
add it to the list.
Yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I think we covered most of the areas, but hey,
Right.
you never know if there's somebody that has a question that we didn't think of. So
I will tell you that we just did guardianship. We did it with a different attorney. And I will tell you that it like rocked our world. Like there's
yeah,
so many things that, and I still don't know, but I definitely don't know everything about guardianship. This is why we're bringing a professional. But
yeah,
there's so many like roadblocks and steps that, in my case, because and he'll explain that, but every guardianship is very, very different.
mm-hmm,
And mine was very complex, and things arose that I didn't even know were even a thing.
I think guardianship overall, this is something that it's
Right.
good for people that have teenagers. And let me tell
Mm-hmm.
you, you have a 14, 15-year old, time goes by really quick.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have a teenager is when you're really aware that, oh, wait, I have to do that. Um, but even whenever your child is small and gets
Yeah.
diagnosed, you don't see the future of,
No,
do
you're
I
not thinking
have
about
to?
that at
You're
that
not
point.
thinking
No.
about that. You're not, aware of that.
Right.
And when it really hits you, it's like you think about it and you're like, he's my child. I'm gonna make decisions for him forever.
Mm-hmm.
But there's legal stuff behind it. So after they turn 18. So this is
Yes.
something that everybody can benefit from.
Mm-hmm.
And there's
Yeah.
people that don't have kids in the spectrum or any special needs. And they're like, really? You
Yeah.
have to do that? I'm like,
I
yeah.
received a call from a mom recently who I met at a retreat, that a mom's retreat, that was like a day thing. And she had heard me mention something about guardianship. And so she has a 17-year-old going on 18, and she's very concerned about guardianship. Now, her child is higher functioning. Her child, his situation with guardianship is going to be completely, completely different than mine. But she has concerns because she doesn't know if she even needs this. Again, her child is somewhat able to make some decisions for himself, but she's concerned. And she says, well, somebody told me that he could just sign a power of attorney to me. And I'm like, does he know what a power of attorney is? Like, really? Really? Does he know what a power of attorney is? And I said, she goes, oh, I mean, and I go, because if he's able to sign, because he knows what that is, and he's able to sign a power of attorney, then that's a different story.
Yeah.
Then yes, he could sign that you
And it's
make
not the
medical
same as
decisions
in
or that you make.
it's not the same as he knows how to sign his name. as
No,
in he knows
absolutely not.
he knows what
Absolutely not.
he's signing.
Yeah, no,
There's
no,
two
no, no.
different things.
Exactly, exactly. And that's what I explained to her, and she's like, "Oh, she was like, I don't know." And I said, "Well, that's that's the issue. He may not know what that is and why he's signing it and what that entails.
Right.
And I don't even know if guardianship would even work because she would need to prove the reasons why she needs to remove these things, remove these rights. And so in that case, I don't even know if they really do need to contact an attorney. But yeah, every case is different. Every single case is different, and every
Yeah, you could
scenario.
do a full, a partial. You
Mm-hmm.
could do it's different alternatives that we'll discuss
The attorney. Mm-hmm.
with the attorney. But we're excited about it because we want to like really get into the nitty gritty about this. So hopefully we just get it going and have it done for you for the
Yes.
new year. So
Yeah.
and Merry Christmas, people,
Yeah.
and have a happy new year. But we'll be back
Yeah.
next week. And you know how to get us, SpectrumMamis, all across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Instagram, Facebook,
YouTube and all
YouTube.
the streaming platforms for podcasts where podcasts are played.
Yeah.
So it's easy. You
Yeah.
can find
And
us.
like, subscribe, follow, no se te va a caer el
Comment,
dedo.
share, all that
Yeah.
stuff.
All that good stuff. So, you
Yeah.
comment and like other people's pages and people that you don't even know. So, hey, you know us. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
How beautiful, how wonderful. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
all right, guys. Ya estoy cansada. Ya no quiero hablar más. ¿Y tú?
Same. Beyond.
Beyond. All right,
Bye.
guys. Every Friday, a new episode.